So I'm currently in the Second Kings. Um, I really don't know what I'm doing right now, but first of all, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. This is the very first official one. Um, don't really know what I'm doing, what it's gonna be necessarily, but I guess I'm trying to be closer to God, and I'm hoping that those of you out there that are currently on this journey and maybe you're even farther along in your journey. I'm just starting my journey for a second time, I should say. Because, for the most part, we all are raised a certain way, and I was raised religious. I went to Sunday school, I went to church, um, and it was actually in Sunday school when I made a vow that I just wouldn't worry about anything. Um, and Like I kind of feel guilty about it now, but I kind of made the decision that I was just going to let God, in a sense, ride shotgun in my life, but also, in a sense, I was just going to let Him be in complete control. So, whatever happened in my life, I just figured it would be of His doing, and I'm just to accept it and deal with it as it comes. And so I made a vow in Sunday school to myself that I wouldn't really rely on God for anything, as I feel like if I let Him just be in control, then that's not really me um abandoning Him. But I don't know. Now my mindset is kind of changed, and I feel like that's just not how I'm supposed to do it. And so I feel like maybe this might help me. And so that I ask all of you that join, and I ask that you help me as well. Um, because I would love to learn. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I'm in Second Kings right now, so I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm just gonna read for a little bit, and if there's something you guys want to talk about, feel free to uh say anything down in the chat. But before I start, let me just make sure that I'm actually live. Okay, I am live. Hopefully, I'm not gonna get copyrighted for this music either, but who knows? Um, if you guys can't hear me anything, please let me know. Also, I would love to know how I'm supposed to decipher these chapters. Like, of course, I know certain verses. I don't. I know how certain verses are read out, but when I read this, I pretty much read this like a regular book. I ignore the numbers, and I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know if those are actually important or if it's just the verse, the message itself that I'm supposed to focus on. And the numbers are just like a way to keep track of chronological order. I don't know. My brain doesn't want to remember like um 2 Kings 14 21 23. Like my brain doesn't remember that kind of stuff. It doesn't focus on that kind of stuff. It focuses more on the actual the actual words, the message, and it does kind of end up confusing me a little bit more, but I don't know. Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, Edom. Also, I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these words. I don't speak um the old language. I'm gonna refer to it because I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the tongues are. Aramic, Arabic, Aramic, Aramic. I don't know. So I'm probably gonna end up butchering names. I do apologize. Thou has indeed smitten Edom, and thine heart hath lifted thee up. Glory of this, and tarry at home. For why shouldest thou meddle to thy heart, that thou shouldest fall, even though in Judah with thee? But Amaziah would not hear. Therefore Jehoash, Jehoah, is that how you pronounce it? Jehoah? Jehoash, king of Israel, went up, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, looked one another in the face of Bethshemesh, Bethshemesh, which belongeth to Judah. And Judah was put to the worse before Israel, and they fled every man to their tents. And Joah, king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joah, the son of Ahaziah, at Bethshemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim unto the corner gate 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver, and all the vessels that were found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and hostages, and returned to Samaria. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash, which he did, and his might, and how he fought with Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoash slept with his fathers, and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. And Jeroboam his son reigned in his stead. And Amaziah the son of Joah, king of Judah, lived after the death of Joah, son of Jehoaz, king of Israel, 15 years. And the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Now they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish, but they sent after him to Lachish and slew him there. And they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. He built, or wait, oh, it's pronounced Uzziah? I thought it was Amaziah. So Uzziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Uzziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam and the son of Joash, king of Israel, began to reign in Samaria, and reigned 41 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. He restored the coast of Israel from the entering of Hamath unto the sea of the plain, according to the word of the Lord God of Israel, which he spake by the hand of his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai the prophet, which was of Gathfer. For the Lord saw the affliction of Israel, that it was very bitter, for there were not any shut up, nor any left, nor any helper for Israel. And the Lord said not that he would not and the Lord said not that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Josh. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to pronounce that one. Joash. Josh. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam and all that he did, and his might, how he warred, and how he recovered Damascus and Hamath, which belonged to Judah for Israel, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his stead. Was it common back then for fathers to just name their children after them, and then their children to name their children's after their fathers? Or is it the way that they're chronicalizing these kings' reigns is pretty much through like a family tree? That is one thing I get confused about when I'm reading about at least when it comes to the names. Not necessarily the events, but the names of the people of the events are what confuse me. I'm just not good with people. I'm good with events, dates and events, times, things like that, but names and faces, that's where it becomes a little bit trickier for me. In the 27th year of Jeroboam the king of Israel began Uzariah son of Azariah son of Uzariah king of Judah to reign. 16 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jecholiah of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Uzziah had done, save that the high places were not removed. The people sacrificed and burnt incense still on the high places. And the Lord smote the king, so that he was a leper until the day of his death, and dwelt in the several house. And Jotham, the king's son, was over the house, judging the people of the land. And the rest of the acts of Azariah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Azariah slept with his fathers in the city of David. And Jotham, his son, reigned in his stead. And in 30th year of Azariah, king of Judah, did Zechariah, the son of Jeroboam, reign over Israel in Samaria 6 months. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, as his fathers had done. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Shalom the son of Jabesh conspired against him, and smote him before the people, and slew him, and reigned in his stead. And the rest of the acts of Zechariah, behold, they are written in the books of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. This was the word of the Lord, which he spake unto Jehu, saying, Thy sons shall sit on the throne of Israel until the 4th generation. And so it came to pass. Shalom, the son of Jabesh, began to reign in the 39th year of Uzziah king of Judah, and he reigned a full month in Samaria. That sounds like, okay, so far from what I've read, in total there's like 19 evil kings, a couple good kings mixed in there, but for the most part 19 evil kings that end up ruling. And sounds like Shalom has the shortest reign so far. He only reigned for a month. For Menahem the son of Gadi went up from Tirzah and came to Samaria and smote Shallum the son of Jabesh in Samaria and slew him and reigned in his stead. And the rest of the acts of Shallum and his conspiracy which he made, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. Then Menahem smote Tifsah and all that were therein, and the coasts whereof from Tirzah, because they opened not to him. Therefore he smote it. And all the women therein that were with child he ripped up. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Judah, began Menahem the son of Gadi to reign over Israel, and reigned 10 years in Samaria. I don't know why. I keep bouncing back and forth from Samaria and Samaria, because I've heard both iterations repeatedly. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not all his days from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Pul, the king of Assyria, came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him to confirm the kingdom in his hand. And Menahem exalted the money of Israel, even of all the mighty men of wealth, of each man 50 shekels of silver, to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back and stayed not there in the land. And the rest of the acts of Menahem and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah his son reigned in his stead. In the 50th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekahiah the son of Menahem began to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 2 years. What is kind of hard for me to understand, well, not really understand, but to read and be able to digest it, is the certain terminology or the certain phrasing of words they used. In the 50th year, so is that saying 50 years after Azariah's reign? This is when we're getting into the next king. Is that what that's supposed to mean? When they say in the 50th year of, in the 34th year of, in the 12, or in the 20, or in the 2 and 20th year of, is that supposed to be the chronological, like, focusing on from the present to the future? I don't know how I should phrase that question. But yeah, pretty much like in the 50th year. So is that talking about 50 years after his reign ended? Or is it like in his 50th year, like he was 50 years old when this new ruler that we read about was born? Is that what that implies? Is it based on the years after the end of the rule, or is it within the age of that ruler when the new ruler is born, and that's when we start to learn about their story? If anybody has clarity on that, please let me know. Okay, so Pekahiah reigned 2 years, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, but Pekahiah the son of Remaliah, a captain of his, conspired against him and smote him in Samaria in the palace of the king's house with Ergo and Eri, and with him 50 men of the Gileadites. Gilead, Gileadites. And he killed him and reigned in his room. And the rest of the acts of Pekahiah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. And in the 52nd year of Azariah king of Judah, Pekah the son of Remaliah began to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 20 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. In the days of Pekah king of Israel came Tiglath-Pileser. Tiglath-Pileser? Am I pronouncing that right? In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria. Syria. And took Ijon, and Abel Bethmaachah, and Jonah, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. And Hoshea, the son of Elah, made a conspiracy against Pekah, the son of Remaliah, and smote him, and slew him, and reigned in his stead in the 20th year of Jotham, the son of Uzziah. These names are so hard to pronounce and so hard to remember. I just remember, like, a king did this, a different king did that, a different king did this. That is what my brain allows me to remember. These names were crazy. And everybody complains today about why certain names are so common. Why everybody just chooses to name their son David or Michael or Thomas or Kyle. I think it's just pretty much because it's easy to remember. I don't know. Yeah, this is the King James version. And truthfully, I don't know if I'm meant to read the whole Bible like front to cover, or if I'm just supposed to read certain parts of the Bible that are probably going to pertain more to my life and the life that the world lives in the present. And the rest of the acts of Pekah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. And in the 2nd year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began, Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok. Zadok? Zadok? And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. He did according to all that his father Uzziah had done. Howbeit the high places were not removed, the people sacrificed and burned incense still in the high places. He built the higher gate of the house of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the books of the chronicles of the kings of Judah? In those days the Lord began to send against Judah Rezin the king of Syria, and Pekah the son of Remaliah. And Jotham slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father. And Ahaz his son reigned in his stead. And in the 17th year of Pekah the son of Remaliah, Asa the son of Jotham king of Judah began to reign. 20 years old was Asa when he began to reign. Ahaz when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord his God, like David his father. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel. Yeah, and made. That's supposed to be pronounced. Do they pronounce it as yeah, the way that we do, because it's written like that? Like right here. I don't know. Hold on. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, where my finger's at. Woo. Come on. Right there. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel. Is that supposed to mean yeah, or like pronounce yeah? Just the pronunciations of the word, I would love the gospel. I would love help on. Like I would love to just start there, like pronunciation of words, because this is definitely front. Because obviously this is a different time, completely different language, old language, I believe is what they call it. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yeah, and made his son to pass through the fire, according to the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel. And he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places, and on the hills, and under every green tree. Then Rezin king of Syria, and Pekah son of Remaliah king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to war, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. At that time Rezin king of Syria recovered Elath to Syria, and drave the Jews from Elath. And the Syrians came to Elath and dwelt there unto this day. So Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria, and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. And Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Lord and in the treasures of the king's house, and sent it for a present to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him. For the king of Assyria went up against Damascus, and took it, and carried the people of it captive to Kir, and slew Rezin. And King Ahaz went to Damascus. Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria, and saw an altar that was at Damascus. And King Ahaz sent to Uriah the priest the fashion of the altar, and the pattern of it, according to all the workmanship thereof. And Uriah the priest built an altar according to all that King Ahaz had sent from Damascus. So Uriah the priest made it against King Ahaz came from Damascus. And when the king was come from Damascus, the king saw the altar, and the king approached to the altar, and offered therein. And he burnt his burnt offering and his meat offering, and poured his drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of his peace offerings upon the altar. And he brought also the brazen altar which was before the Lord from the forefront of the house, from between the altar and the house of the Lord, and put it on the north side of the altar. And King Ahaz commanded Uriah the priest, saying, Upon the great altar burn the morning burnt offering, and the evening meat offering, and the king's burnt sacrifice, and his meat offering, with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings, and sprinkle upon it all the blood of the burnt offering, and all the blood of the sacrifice, and the brazen altar shall be for me to inquire by. Thus did Uriah the priest according to all that King Ahaz commanded. So the king is telling him to pretty much take all of the sacrifices that are supposed to be for the Lord and do so for himself instead. Right? And the king Ahaz cut off the borders of the bases and removed the laver from off them, and took down the sea from off the brazen oxen that were under it, and put it upon a pavement of stones. And the covert of the Sabbath that they had built in the house, and the king's entry without, turned he from the house of the Lord for the king of Assyria. Now the rest of the acts of Ahaz which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? I watched a testimony a few days ago, and one of the things that he said was, of course, we are not inherently from earth. We are souls who make a decision to come to earth. Where, and apparently, not only do we make the choice to come here to earth, but we make the choice to, and we plan out our own lives and like the hardships that we want to go through. It makes me wonder, why would there be souls who choose to come to earth to dwell in evil? I don't know how I would say it. But why would our souls choose a life of choose to be incarnated into the life of um a dark path, dark life? Like all these people that are serial killers, mass murderers, like violent, scary people that have done very bad things. Their souls chose that type of hardship to endure. But I feel like throughout history, if there's enough souls that do that, wouldn't they go, when they do finally make it back home, if they are fortunate enough to make it back home, wouldn't that be something they would want to like warn people? Like, if you choose this hardship to endure, you are choosing one of the riskiest you're choosing one of the riskiest rewards of this whole learning experience. I don't know, it blows my mind to think that our souls actually did choose the lives that we have. They chose the hardships that we experience in our lives. The thing is, while we're in this earthly body, this flesh, we don't know, or at least we don't remember that that's what we chose. And another thing that I guess what my from my personal understanding of this specific testimony, we make the decisions to come to earth. Our souls, we make the decision to come to earth and to experience pretty much the flesh. But from what I understand, God will only allow us to do so if our intentions are pure. And so I'm assuming everyone that lives on earth, everyone that is created and that comes into this world has been pure, has pure intentions when it comes to being here on this earth. But of course, the flesh um corrupts and warps our perspective, and it makes us lose our way. And this is something recently within the last couple years I've come to acknowledge and accept that I need to change, and that's part of what I'm doing now. One of the whole inspirational factors for me wanting to start this, despite the fact of what kind of society we live in today. Um, but at the same time, I'm not here to like minister. I'm not here to necessarily persuade or convince people, to believe or to think a certain way. Like, ultimately, everyone has to make that decision for themselves for their own reasons. Um, and I just feel like doing this, streaming, using my YouTube channel to further walk on this path is, maybe it's not necessarily per se like the whole thing of being online to do it, but I feel like it might help me. It could be more beneficial because let's just face it, it's not like true Christians are only set in one location. Like, they're all over the world. And I want to hear from everyone. Okay, let's see where I was off. Um. Okay, so now the rest of the acts of Ahaz which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And Ahaz slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Hezekiah his son reigned in his stead. In the 12th year of Ahaz king of Judah began Hoshea the son of Elah to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, which he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. Medes? For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and had feared other gods, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God, and they built them high places in their cities, in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up images in groves in every high hill and under every green tree. And there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. And they served idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, Ye shall not do this thing. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Notwithstanding they would not hear, but hardened their necks like to the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God. And they rejected his statute and his covenant that he had made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them, that they should not do like them. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. Is it Baal or is it Baal? Blah, blah, blah. I say blah. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all of the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria upon this day. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was, at the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, The nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, Carry thither one of their priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth Benoth, and men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, and the Avites made Nebaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvites burnt their children in fire to Adramelech and Anmelech, the gods of Sepharvim. Pretty much the gist of this, what I can simplify for my own understanding, because I don't want to bother memorizing the names of all these gods that were worshipped. I just know time after time after time people were turning away from the Lord and creating these false gods to worship. Even to this day, there are false gods being worshipped out of innocent ignorance, but that innocence is only to a degree. This is why immortality does not exist for humans, because we are not the type to learn from our mistakes quickly. We ultimately have to make the mistake repeatedly. We have to experience the consequences of those mistakes repeatedly before we can get it freaking ingrained in our heads that, hey, this doesn't work. What we are doing does not work. Even to this day. Like, just because the time setting changes, problems are still the same. And even if you are to remove the religious aspect of history, history itself proves time and time again that the only thing that changes is the timeline. But we are still pretty much dealing with the same problems that our forefathers were dealing with 200, 3,000 years ago. I think that's something that God took notice in, or already knew and already figured out. And he figured, if I give them immortality to live forever, they have no reason to learn from their mistakes. They have no reason to learn to depend on me if they have forever. So maybe that's why humans were only gifted a certain amount of time here on Earth. Because God is all powerful and all knowing, he most definitely could have made humans immortal. Same way he created angels to be immortal, the same way he is immortal. Like, he could have created humans to be infinite. But also, when I think about it like that, if he did it like that, because of immortality, there would be no death. So therefore there could be no rebirth of the spirit, of the soul, which would ultimately render his will of a new kingdom, of a new earth, obsolete. In my understanding, in my opinion. Of course, I could be completely wrong, because God is God. I don't know God. And I don't want to try to know God on that level, because that's just too much to try to understand. And I feel like he's giving me enough here on earth in this flesh. He's giving me enough to worry about, that I'm not supposed to worry about those kind of things, and so I don't. But also, I can't help but just be curious. Like, the information is like, it's not necessary, but it's just nice to know, personally. The same way that we need, the same way we need bad things to happen in order to understand the full impact and seriousness of the good times. Because if we didn't have bad experiences, we would never be able to appreciate the good moments, because there would be nothing to disrupt that. Okay, where was I? They feared the Lord and served their own gods after the manner of the nations, whom they carried away from thence. Unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord, neither do they after their statutes, or after their ordinances, or after the law and commandment which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel, with whom the Lord had made a covenant and charged them, saying, Ye shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourselves to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But the Lord, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm, him shall ye fear, and him shall ye worship, and to him shall ye do sacrifice. And the statutes, and the ordinances, and the law, and the commandment, which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do for evermore, and ye shall not fear other gods. And the covenant that I have made with you ye shall not forget, neither shall ye fear other gods. But the Lord your God ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of your enemies. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. So these nations feared the Lord, and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Ezekiel, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father did. He removed the high places, and brake the images, and cut down the groves, and brake in the pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan. Nushtan? He trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from the following him, but kept his commandments, which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered wheresoever he went forth. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. He smote the Philistines even unto Gaza, and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Ezekiel, or Hezekiah. Sorry, I was mispronouncing that. Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years they took it. Even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Hala, in Habor by the city Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded, and would not hear them nor do them. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah, and took them. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the house of the king's house. In that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord, and from the pillars which Hezekiah king of Judah had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rashika from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, and Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah, thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, what confidence is there within thou trustest? Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust, that thou rebelled against me? Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. But if ye say unto me, We trust in the Lord our God, is not that he, whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, and hath said to Judah and Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able to on thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, Go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna. Sheba? Is the N silent? And Joah unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall. But Rabshakeh, Rashak, said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spake, saying, Hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, Make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one of the waters of his cisterns. until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil, olive, and of honey, that ye may live and not die. Hearken not unto Hezekiah when he persuadeth you, saying, The Lord will deliver us. Hath any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and of Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim, Hena, and Iva? Have they delivered Samaria out of mine hand? Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of my hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of my hand? But the people held their peace and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was, saying, Answer him not. Then came Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, to Hezekiah with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. And it came to pass when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Sheba the scribe, and the elders of the priests covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, This day is a day of trouble and of rebuke and blasphemy, for the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be the Lord thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master has sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer from the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Lord, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warred against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard say of Tirkah, king of Ethiopia, Behold, he is come out to fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God, in whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria had done to all lands, by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered? Hath the gods of the nation delivered them which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph and the children of Eden, which were in Thelasar? Where is the king of Hamath, the king of Arpad, the king of the city of Sepharvaim, of Hena and Eva? And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Lord, bow down thine ear and hear. Open, Lord, thine eyes and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which hath sent him to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire, for they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Now, therefore, O Lord our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord God, even thou only. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, that which thou hast praised to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said, with the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet I had dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me, because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee: ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves, and in the second year that which springeth of the same. And in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnants that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria: He shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night, that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib king of Assyria departed, and went and returned, and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer his sons smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon had his son reigned in his stead. And I think I'm going to end it there. Kings and their greed, wanting more power, wanting more fame and love, ultimately is their downfall. 19 kings, evil kings with ruling dynasties over centuries, decades, and ultimately all for nothing. I think. I don't know if any of them managed to go to heaven or not, but I'm assuming most of the evil kings did not make it based on their own accord. I think we're going to end it here. I appreciate everyone being here for the very first stream. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I would really appreciate it if you guys would help me out. Going forward, I'm going to be keeping these streams up in its own little category on the channel. So if you guys want to come into the If you guys want to leave your comments and stuff in the live stream, even after it ended, you'll be able to. But yeah, I think that's all we're gonna do for now. I don't really want to overwhelm myself, and going into this, starting this up, for some reason, like my anxiety just spiked. Um, but that pretty much went away like 10 seconds after I hit um stop or start streaming. So I don't know. I'm just not used to this yet. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I'm very distrustful when it comes to knowing other people's intentions, and I don't want to get mixed in with the wrong crowd, especially on such a serious aspect of life. So, I don't know. If you guys don't know, I'm Malachi. It's nice to meet all of you. Welcome to my channel, Mal's Moment. This is going to be a faith-based channel around Christianity. I do welcome everyone pretty much. There are no exclusion. The only rule, no hate, no negativity. There is always a way to be civil, even in disagreeing. There's always a way to do it without violence in any aspect becoming a solution. But I pray all of you guys have a wonderful day or night, whatever time it is you're watching this. May God help show you all what you need to see, and I hope nothing for the best. May God's glory reign supreme now and forever, as it has, and it no doubt will. I think the next time we stream, one of the topics I want to get on is praying. I feel my dilemma with praying, I feel like I have everything I need, thanks to the Lord. I have everything I need, and it's really just the things that I want, and I don't know how to ask for the things that I want without feeling selfish, because I feel like just because I want it doesn't mean it's necessary, doesn't mean God's going to actually give it to me. And it doesn't necessarily mean that just because I want it, that I feel like that's going to better my life. And so, I don't know. I would like to learn how to pray the right way, I guess, if there is a right way. So that's another big thing that I want to work on and I want to address in the next stream. But we're going to end it here. I appreciate all of you guys. Jesus loves you. You know, he loves all of us. Whether you believe it or not. I'll see you guys later.